We were talking to each other during world news as the rally was just getting underway, and you've been getting these horrific stories from witnesses, and you're with another one tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, we're with another group of witnesses that saw what happened. I will tell you, hours ago, this area right here was filled with Trump supporters eager, waiting to go inside of that rally. Right now, tonight, this is an area where Trump supporters are gathering. They're left with shock about what happened. Tell me what you saw inside.
Yeah, I was just about like 30 feet from Trump, and then I saw the people that had been shot, and they were bringing them down in the stands right above me, and I just didn't want to get down. I just kept standing. But I saw, I saw the man that was hit in the head, and there was a lot of blood, and I knew there was no way he was going to survive that. And then there were two of them that they brought down, but it was like real chaotic, but I didn't get down, and so it was very interesting. We were just right there.
What was going through your mind as you saw that person with tons of blood on them?
Yeah, at first I was thinking, I thought different thoughts, like maybe this was the shooter and then he committed suicide, or maybe someone shot him. That's what my first thoughts were. I didn't think about just like someone that was in the stands. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And now knowing that this is someone that was in the stands, how are you processing this?
No, I think we're all in shock. Yeah, we're numb that this happened.
Can I say, when I heard this going on, I thought it was a firecracker. Just like with Kennedy, people thought it was a firecracker. And I looked, we were 20 yards away from Trump, and then we were 20 yards away from where I thought it was a firecracker. But then now I'm thinking maybe those were bullets that were going over our head. Yeah. And then they were saying, get down, get down, get down. I just wasn't processing. It took me like 2 minutes, and I finally hit the deck. But I think it's just like you're in shock. And how did the guy get the gun in there? How did he get the gun?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, because is this your first Trump rally?
No.
So I've covered a number of Trump rallies. I've been to almost every single Trump rally this cycle. You've been to a number as well. You're fully aware of the security precautions. Trump supporters, as they're making their way in, they have to go through magnetometers. Your bags are searched. Your pockets are searched as well. And so any area where you're around the former president, there is a sense of safety. Yeah. And so to have this occur, what was going through your mind as you heard gunfire, get down, get down?
I think first I was in shock, but I do think I'm drawn to some of this I tried out for the Secret Service. I passed everything, but then they said, take your glasses off. That was the end of it. So I hope.
Then looking at it, if you look at it decent, this man that got shot, ain't nobody never run. Ain't nobody never moved from right there. Like when we could really be shooting. None of these people ran. Everybody's just looking. Especially people right here. If Trump got hit in the ear, then his spot should have got hit over here. The bullet that grazed him should have hit somebody right here. The shooter was coming from over there. Yeah. Shooter was coming from over there. Yeah, the shooting was coming from over there. I'm right there.
Whole life would have been changed, but I couldn't see. But I guess I like to be where the action is in some ways. So, but I mean, not this, obviously this is just.
That's crazy. But as you can see, none of the people behind Trump ran. None of them. Nobody behind Trump ran. Let's see what other videos they got about who was the person. Who was the person? Trump rally. They're supposed to have all of the information by now.
Thanks for coming, folks. I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have engaged in making sure that
they was 3 bullets behind.
And we have more detail to come relative to other injuries.
They was 3 bullets behind, though.
I don't have
Got shot once with the first bullet, the other 2.
I may be able to.
They supposed to be on that.
Later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if we
Then there
don't.
was a
If
pause.
not able to give, if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it.
Oh, it's heard of. You say unheard of when Kennedy actually contemplated it.
Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. So far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do. Okay?
Mr. President, do you think this was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have.
Now, you think this assassination attempt when the bullet hit your ear? Nah, they just wanted him to hear it very close.
I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the.
Anybody getting shot at the head, when you're president, you get a trying to assassinate it. If you get shot in his foot, it'll still be assassination.
Facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried for your own safety? Was the security failing as president?
Why you walk off like a... Let's find that up here. Oh, Trump. No. They found something else on that boy. Trump shooter. That's something else.
You were just outside. Tell us what you saw. So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Sprinkles Harmony Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
Right.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. and the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him up the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up
you
there.
saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling
Yep.
the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police, we were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
Binoculars.
Could they see him for a couple of minutes?
Uh-oh.
He was up
You
there.
saw him up
See?
there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes. Ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up
you
there.
saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were
If the Secret Service had binoculars and stuff, they was trying to wait till he get in place.
telling
Yep.
the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police, we were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see him?
Binoculars.
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started,
That's true. But they don't have Secret Service on all the places.
everyone was very panicked. Did,
Oh,
did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching. But you're pretty. Did you see? I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching. But you're pretty sure they shot the guy.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly
The
shocking.
guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right
Did
there.
you get a look at him? Could you?
I no, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. I mean, we saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there is a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, absolutely.
So what do you? How do you?
So why would he should point at the white building? Why they ain't
Yep,
with the camera?
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly
The
shocking.
guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right
Did
there.
you get a look at him? Could you?
I no, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. I mean, we saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there is a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it,
No,
but
sure. But
it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you process what you've just seen?
I don't know what to say, man. All I'll tell you is, if I walked up close to there with anything that Secret Service considered a problem, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. But I don't know why a guy who we're standing there pointing out to police and Secret Service is crawling up the roof. Yes, right there by that tree. We were outside the security perimeter. But my question is, there's only a few buildings around here. Why is Secret Service not on every building here?
Well, there's a whole bunch of questions I think that are going to come.
There's a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Yes, she was right in front of me. She kept going back and forth right in front of me. Yes.
Tell us about her.
I mean, nice horse, nice lady running with a flag. Seemed very, patriotic.
But what's the significance of her?
No, she's
weird. Let's see what else we can find here. Yeah, how you mean? Let's see what else we can find on that goodbye. That nigga Trizon. I don't know why they don't want to say who he was though.
The open, willing.
Chaos erupted at Donald Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
You can hear several pops and see the former president grabbing his ear, ducking for cover behind the podium. Secret Service agents rushing the stage, surrounding Trump, shielding him, taking him down to the ground.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
The screaming crowd looking on in horror. A short time later, agents carefully lifting the former president up.
I got you, sir. I got you. Let me get my shoes. Hold on, your head.
Blood clearly seen on his face, Trump pumping his fist. Agents whisking the former president off the stage, down the stairs to a waiting armored SUV, rushing him to a local medical center.
We heard what we appeared to be gunfire coming. The former president was rushed off the stage right now. With Secret Service, he's being escorted into
I don't
his
know how
vehicle.
nobody
This
behind
was
him,
a
but he,
chaotic moment that just
oh,
played out
nobody
right
over there
here in
to the
Pennsylvania.
left
People
of him.
running and rushing to the ground as they heard those apparent shots fired.
Then pandemonium, thousands of people running for cover. Tonight, the Trump campaign releasing a statement saying the former president is fine and being checked out at a local medical facility. Donald Trump Jr. telling ABC News he spoke to his father, who remains in the hospital, and described Trump as in good spirits, saying he remains under observations.
Just hours ago, this area was lined with Trump supporters. They entered that tent right there to be screened by Secret Service, going through metal detectors, their belongings tested. Now, this is the space where you have Trump supporters that are leaving, panicked and confused, as Secret Service agents rush us out of this area and back to our cars.
Tonight, the crowd still in disbelief.
Tell me what you saw and what you heard. You said that you heard the popping sounds when you got down.
Sounds. At first you think like maybe firecrackers, but it continued, and then somebody yelled, "Get down!" We got down, and we huddled, and we started praying.
Tonight, local officials telling ABC News those sounds were in fact gunshots. Live rounds fired from a rooftop adjacent to the venue outside the security perimeter. Tonight, law enforcement recovering an AR-style rifle. This is being investigated as an attempted assassination. And tonight, the local district attorney telling ABC News at least one person is dead, and the shooter is dead as well. A law enforcement official briefed on the investigation tells us this image is believed to show the suspected gunman on the roof. Tonight, President Biden addressing the nation.
I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it.
And moments ago, former President Donald Trump posting on Truth Social, thanking the Secret Service, saying, "I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person who was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act could take place in our country. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place.
So I realized then what was happening. God bless America.
And Rachel Scott is back with us now. She was there at that rally in the beginning. She is still there now. Rachel, you've talked to a number of witnesses, but I also wonder, have you been in touch with the Trump campaign, some of the officials that you were likely speaking with who were there at the event and then fled with the president? Are they revealing anything else about what happened?
Yeah, there is a sense of shock among Trump officials as well. They were inside of this rally along with us and the former president's supporters, members of the press. They were there too, also diving for cover. Many of the former president's aides, when we heard those gunshots erupt and the panic that set in and the chaos that occurred just right after that. Here now, right behind me, is this active crime scene that you have here. And there were a number of people that were here. Their belongings are left inside. It was sort of this moment where you took what you could and you just sort of raced out. There were some people running out. There were some people that had to be pushed out by Secret Service. They were told to just take what you can, leave everything else. There were probably about a dozen people that were lined up here at these gates behind me asking law enforcement when they'll be able to get back in. They were just told that they would not have access to their personal belongings for some time, maybe a couple hours, maybe a day. There are several people here who actually have their keys to their cars. They can't drive home at this point. Obviously, this is an active crime scene that's occurring behind me here tonight. And so you have this American flag that's hanging over that crime scene, an attempted assassination of a former president, a Republican nominee in this race. It is an unprecedented twist to an already historic campaign win.
Rachel Scott, stand by. Just reminding our viewers who are tuning in right now as we hit the top of the hour, it is just past 11 o'clock in the east, 8 o'clock in the west. We've been on this for hours now. I'm Wade Johnson in New York, following the major developments. Former President Donald Trump in an attempted assassination at one of his events in Butler, Pennsylvania. He was there for a rally, a political rally. You see the events here. There were the popping sounds in the crowd, the former president reaching for his right ear before going down to the deck right there on the stage. The Secret Service surrounding the former president, jumping on him to protect him, forming somewhat of a human shield there before eventually bringing former President Trump back to his feet and escorting him off the stage. You can also hear the screams from the crowd because, as we know now, that there was a shooter who was perched on a rooftop, fired up to 8 shots from an AR-style rifle, and at least one spectator, one person in the stands there, was killed. We know that 2 others were taken in critical condition to a nearby hospital. The former president was also escorted, as you can see in some of these images. Once they got him back to his feet, they escorted him off the stage. And in some of the pictures, you can see that blood trickling down the right side of his face. The crowd responding to Trump when he got back to his feet and started cheering. The former president then walking off with the Secret Service, as you see here, ultimately into a car being escorted off to a nearby hospital. We're told by family that the president is doing fine tonight, that he did suffer a minor injury as a bullet passed through the top of his right ear. But the president and his family, they've been asking for prayers for the victims who were killed, and also thanking the Secret Service for their quick actions in this assassination attempt. We also know that the Secret Service is involved in the investigation. The FBI now leading the investigation. We've been getting information about the shooter. They have confirmed that it's a man. They believe at this point it's a lone suspect. No indication that anybody else was involved, but that man was perched on a rooftop some 200 to 300 yards away from that venue, once again with an AR-style rifle. We're going to bring in some of our other correspondents and contributors here in just a moment. Forgive me, I'm getting instructions. I can't do that. You've got to keep moving it forward. Okay. We've been speaking with eyewitnesses all day. Let's go ahead and listen.
Tell me what you saw and what you heard. You said that you heard the popping sounds and you got down.
Sounds. At first you think like maybe firecrackers, but it continued, and then somebody yelled, "Get down!" We got down, and we huddled and we started praying, and we just started praying, and thank God, a little while later we got up. When we saw other people get up, we saw Trump get up, raise his fist like I'm okay, and we kept praying.
I felt really bad. I'm worried about our grandchildren, what kind of What kind of life are they going to have if this goes on, if people don't have the right to say what they want?
You told me that you were near the very front. You weren't very far.
No, we were like from here to where that thing is.
And you got down, you said you got down immediately?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody yelled, "Get down!" My daughter-in-law, Lisa, she said for us to hurry up and get down.
Well, I mean, I saw like all the like Secret Service like kind of cover Trump. They did a really good job about that, making sure he was protected, telling everyone to get down. So I think they did take a good care of like making sure everyone was like understanding what was going on and like being serious but not freaking everybody out.
What was your initial reaction when you heard those popping noises?
To get down. Yeah, so I actually like my boyfriend pushed me on the ground and like went on top of me, which was like really nice. But I think a lot of people I think were a little like too shocked to understand what was going on originally, for sure. But I think everyone listened pretty well and it was handled pretty well.
Did you see some of that commotion that was playing out on the other side of the bleacher where we saw law enforcement agents sort of swarm around another individual, or did you ultimately just rush out?
No, we were there for a minute because they did tell us to go back down again just in case. I think that was good because it helped like calm people down. But I think one of the stands that I was next to, they did like carry out a man, and there was another one that might have been injured. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely one at least. And on the other stand on the other side, because I was on the right, on the left, there were like a bunch of like men in uniform like surrounding someone. So that was interesting to see.
You said that you were very impressed by
It was
the speed in which
interesting.
Secret Service was able to get on that stage within seconds of all of us hearing those popping sounds.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a great job. I definitely felt protected in the situation. The sniper was on it, watching on guard. Everyone on the scene like did a great job. I mean, like of course it was like nerve-wracking in the moment, but
Nerve-wracking.
I never felt like I was like in danger, which was cool. They were on the president, which I'm very thankful of, and they did a great job like protecting him and getting him out as quick as possible. He is doing good. Which is good. Yeah.
I'm the Republican nominee for the Senate in Pennsylvania. I was in the front row, and President Trump had just announced me and said he was going to have me come up on the stage, and said, well, wait a minute. And then there were a number of shots. I think probably 7 or 8 shots. It wasn't clear whether they would come from one place or 2 places. At least I couldn't tell. And immediately there was a swarm of Secret Service officers that got on top of, knocked down President Trump and got on top of him. And then he stood back up, and you sort of saw this fist come out, sort of defiant that it looked like he was okay, but you couldn't tell for sure. It looked like there was some blood, but it wasn't obvious. And then the entire crowd went to the ground because we weren't sure whether the shots were done. And then unfortunately, over my shoulder, someone had clearly been hit. I was on the ground, and up in the bleachers, probably 3 or 4 bleachers behind me, it looked like there was a man who was severely injured. There
That's what I was saying.
And his people around him were trying to administer first aid, and then some police officers came in and carried him out and presumably took him to get first aid. That's really all I could see. I don't know if there were other people injured, and I don't know if there was anybody apprehended, because as you might imagine, once that happened, the crowd was very chaotic, and it was very hard to know what was going on. And we're still there at the rally, just sitting trying to get out because the traffic is so backed up.
And Dave, your account seems to confirm some of this reporting that we're getting about a shooter and potential bystanders who were hurt. Just talk more about your initial reaction. I mean, seeing this, you're running for Senate in the state of Pennsylvania. You're about to walk up on the stage. You're getting introduced by the former president, and then you hear these shots ring out and the chaos in the crowd. What was going through your mind in that moment?
Well, it takes a minute to process. People started to panic all around. You could feel, people were very scared, and so, everybody just dropped to the ground, and it felt very obvious that the president was under assault, and very much at risk, and it wasn't clear that he was okay to begin with. And then, once it started to sink in, you're thinking, are there still shooters out there? Are they going to target other people? And it's just like these, situations. I was in the military previously. You realize over time that the facts start to come together. So you got to be careful not to draw too many conclusions early on. But I think what we all felt was a sense of, oh my Lord, everybody's in danger because there's clearly a shooter, at least one shooter in the crowd, and maybe more. And really, I think scary for everybody who was there. And shocking, even more than scary, just shocking, because you were in the middle of this rally, and it was kind of fun, and people were enthusiastic, and all of a sudden it was turned upside down.
What does this say to you about our state of division and the politics in this country right now?
Well, I don't want to draw any conclusions before I know more about it, but, obviously it's, if you're a public official, if you're a presidential candidate and, your safety's at risk, that's scary for all of us, no matter what party you're in. And so I think it's, it's a moment to take stock. And, you had 15,000, it seemed, it was a huge crowd. I was told by the law enforcement people there are 15,000 people who were enthusiastically supporting their candidate, and all of a sudden, the former president, his life is at risk, and what were peaceful people in the audience are wounded, potentially, fatally. I mean, that's unacceptable, and it's not a matter of party. That's just unacceptable in our great country.
I do want to go to Leonard Verdetto, who is an eyewitness who was there at the rally today. He's joining us now on the phone. Leonard, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, Leonard. We're so grateful that you are okay. Can you just walk us through what happened and what you saw?
Sure, absolutely. So everyone was excited to see the former president coming out. Yeah, we were all
every reaction
responsible
by
we
Laser
were all there for each other. And then the former president was giving his speech. Then moments later, there was some, popping sounds that were going off. So there were about maybe 6 or 7 to 8 shots that were happening. None of us really registered at the time, but then all people were saying, get down, get down. Even I was saying, get down. Other people were saying, get down as well. And, we were all praying. We were praying to Yeshua, the Lord Jesus, and we were praying to him to keep us safe, keep us protected. But unfortunately, what happened was, someone did get shot. What I do hear is that I think 2 people